growing up, I used to get on the trolley car with my friend Donnie Tobias, and we'd go down to Homestead to the Leona Theater so we could watch a pirate film or some other adventure at the picture show. But I'm sure we've also had other adventures that we've gone on, perhaps with our parents or grandparents, when they'll get you up early one morning and say, "Come with me." And you wind up having your first experience of going on a hike in the woods where you've never been before, or on a fishing trip, or some other, what you would consider an adventure. Some people exploring the attic of their grandparents' home was the same sort of thing. Today we hear about going on an adventure with the Lord. He invited 3 of his disciples to go with him up onto a mountain. Now, just picture yourself as being one of those 3. You imagine, well, we're with Jesus, whom we trust. He's taking us someplace. We're not quite sure, but it's an adventure. Let's go along and see what happens. And then when we get there, we have this awesome experience of seeing our friend and our teacher, Jesus, transfigured, becoming dazzling white. And it sort of fills us with fear. It's still the Jesus that we know. It's still the Jesus that we love. But he's different. His divinity is showing. Well, just like those apostles, you and I are called today to follow the Lord on an adventure. And that adventure is the adventure of life, no matter how we happen to live it today. Whether we might be getting a little older, we might have a few aches and pains, we may be unemployed, we may be pregnant, we may be all sorts of different things, but we're alive and there's an adventure to be had out there in the world, following the Lord. We come here Sunday after Sunday, and we come forth and we meet the Lord at his altar, and we receive his body and blood into our own. And that very act transforms, transfigures you and me to be more Christ-like. But yet, we're a little bit afraid to go out there and walk the walk with the Lord. Throughout the scriptures in today's readings, we hear God calling. He did it to Abram. What did Abram do? He trusted and followed. Paul tells us not to be afraid. Jesus tells us not to be afraid, but to go forth from this place and let people know what God has done for us in his saving love. Yeah, I know it's not politically correct to talk about our religion. You know, we've had that discussion before. The 2 things that good manners tells us, don't talk about religion and politics, are the 2 things that control what goes on in the world, politics and religion. And so those are exactly the things that we should be talking about as Christians, as followers of the Lord. We should be bringing that Christian perspective of justice and equality to all of our daily business. We should be spreading that love to others, whether or not they like the message. You and I are charged as Christians to proclaim the love of God, to let others know what he has done for us. And so as you go forth from this place today, try to be less afraid. Be more unafraid than anything. And proclaim to the world your love of Christ and his love for them.